Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. Now we are going to have the study circle on Gita Vahini, which we have been doing for the last few months. And we are going to do the chapter 13. So the online version, it will be page 58. And in the hard copy, you have the book. The version I have is page 117. Is the one you have. Your version may be different because so page 58 is the one online, and whatever you verify, chapter 13, and we are going to start on page 117 here. So just last time we had the discussion, very important thing we talked about, which is about Maya. We are all caught up in the Maya. That is the whole problem. There is a whole thing in the spirituality, in Vedanta. Actually, Adi Shankara summarized, as I will tell you in half-ish words, the summary of all Vedanta. What he says? What did he say? Brahma Satyam. Only Brahman is truth. Jagan Mithya. Whatever you are seeing is Mithya. Mithya means not apparent reality. It looks real but not real. So, and Jivo Brahmayana Paraha. And we, the embodied beings, are nothing but divine. We are God. So that is the summary of all the spiritual practices we do, Upanishads we read, Brahma Sutras, because he wrote commentary on everything. Adi Shankara, the great teacher of Advaita, he said, after reading everything, because he knows that this is the essence of everything. God alone is true, everything else is unreal, and you are nothing but divine. That's why Swami says, assert your God here. I am God. But for that, you need to have preparation. But why we are not able to experience this truth? We think more the apparent reality as real, and we cannot see the divinity, and we don't think we realize our true nature, which is we are embodiments of Atma, we are the embodiments, divine love and divine bliss. That is because of Maya. And as I said, Swami is going beautifully. More and more I watch Bhagavad Gita, I take chapter by chapter and going. Right now he is discussing chapter 7 called Vijnana Yoga, where this sloka is considered by a lot of commentators. Last time we discussed, so just for brushing up, I will talk this sloka 14 of chapter 7. It says, what is this Maya? It beautifully says, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. This Maya, where does it come from? Daivi, it is divine. Came from God himself. And what is it composed of? Gunamayi, three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. We all know what they are, so that is what. And third quality is Duratyaya, very difficult to cross. So he said three characteristics is come from me. Like you says, clouds come because of sun, right? But they hide the sun. Our moss in the lake comes because of the things, and it covers the water. And like ash, Swami says, comes because of the fire, and it covers the fire. So this comes from God itself. So you should remember, you cannot curse Maya. You should say, pray to Maya, just don't come in my way. So this one is Daivi Hesha, it is divinity itself. It is come from God, and it is composed of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tama, and every one of us. We easily to relate to. So rajas, in the morning when you get up till the end, we'll all be active, going to work, whether at work, in the society, or at home. And then we'll be having tamasic time when you sleep, whatever time you sleep. Nowadays people don't sleep long, so whatever, 10 or 11 till morning. So that is tamasic time. And then sattvic time, whenever you really think about God or spiritual practices you do. And that is said to be between 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. There, dusk and dawn. That is why even Gayatri, everything people prescribe, this is the best time to do, because that is the time where our mental agitation are to the lowest. So everybody is going through that. But real God is beyond the three gunas. As we says, this Maya is composed of these three gunas. And Duratyaya, you cannot cross this. That is when you are in Maya, what will happen? You will have suffering, you have pain, you have bondage. This is what Lord Buddha said. What is life? Anityam asukham. The pain, kshanikam kshanikam. This is momentary and full of pain. Right? Swami says pleasure is interval between two pains. So we all know that. So, but we should not get discouraged, because the purpose of the human life is to live in peace, bliss, because when you know the nature. So, how to do that? So, next part of the verse he says, Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. If you surrender to me, you will cross the Maya easily. So, he said, Maya is composed of these three gunas. It came from me, and it's difficult to cross. He himself says it's difficult. God himself says difficult. But he gave the solution. Don't get discouraged. If you surrender to me, Lord, thine will be done. You are everything. You give up everything. So I surrender to you. Then he will take you across the ocean. You don't need to carry the burden on your head. So put all the, like Shidi Baba's famous saying, leave all your burdens on me and I will bear it. Like that, we should surrender. So this is the one of the paths to get out of the Maya. And Swami last time talked about it. There are two methods. One is this path of devotion, bhakti, completely surrender. Second is path of jnana, where you know this, because we are all confused because of our wrong identification, body, mind, intellect. When you know your real nature, that is your Atma, automatically the minute you have that wisdom, you go beyond the Maya. So that is why he says, Jnanagni Dagda Karma. Once you, Jnana is like a fire. It will burn off all your Maya. There is nothing exists. You right away know that, like Ramana Maharshi in a flash, knew the truth. So that will happen. So either these two methods you should adapt to go beyond Maya. Actually, there is a great um, devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. He gave example that everybody is caught up in Maya, but he gave there are two great souls that time. A lot of you know about Swami Vivekananda. He was great devotee, at the same time great Advaitin. So he said he tore across this net of Maya by cutting out the net, because he became so big, he broke from the Maya net. Whereas there is another great devotee called Nagamaharshi. He was a householder devotee, he was a doctor, but he was the embodiment of humility. He says, everything is God, God, I don't exist. So there is a beautiful story one time I will share. So how he, even when the termites come and try to eat his house. He says, no, no, he didn't want to put, we will carve the termites to take care. He says, that is the Divine Mother coming and eating, so we should let the termites enjoy. So everything. And one time a cat scratched his face and flesh came out. He says, Mother, thank you. So you have blessed me with your grace. So like that in everything, he could see that. So everything is a embodiment. Even prasad people used to give him. So he was careful. If you give him a banana leaf, this prasad, banana leaf also he will eat because there is a part of the prasad. Then they made sure they give him in a wooden plate or something so that he cannot eat that. He has that kind of complete God intoxication as humility. So what they beautifully the devotee described is this came out because Maya net has holes. So he became so small. He came out to the net. The somehow you need to get out of the net. Either become so big to jnana that you are the self atma, or became so small through humility and devotion come out. So this is what we discussed last time. So two ways. Swami says hurdle of Maya can be crossed either by developing the attitude of oneness with the infinite God or the attitude of complete surrender. The first is called Jnana Yoga, and the second is named Bhakti Yoga. That is where we ended last time. So we can continue from there. Page where it starts, all men do not get the inner prompting to conquer Maya. This is where we start.
Sairam, all men do not get the inner prompting to conquer Maya by surrendering their all to the Lord. It depends on the merit or demerit accumulated during many births. Those who have only demerit as their earnings will pursue the fleeting pleasure of the senses. Like the birds and the beasts, they revel in food and frolic. They take these as the purpose of life. They do not entertain any thoughts of God. They dislike the company of the virtuous and the good. They stray away from good acts. They become outlaws in the realm of God. On the other hand, those who have earned merit strive to grow in virtue, in uplifting thoughts, in the contemplation of the divine presence, and they yearn for the Lord. Seekers such as these may be drawn to the Lord through suffering or want or the thirst for knowledge or keenness to acquire wisdom. But the fact that they turn towards the Lord for relief shows that they have grown into the higher path through many births. The Gita does not approve sakama karmas, acts done with intention to benefit therefrom, or with the result as the prime motive. It is only nishkama karma, acts done without being concerned with the benefit that may accrue, that will free you from delusion. Now, a doubt may arise about the Artha Bhakta, the one who turns to the Lord to relieve his suffering. The question may be raised whether such a person can be called a Bhakta. There is no single person on earth who is free from some want or other. Each depends on someone or other to fulfill his wants, is it not? Now, to have such wants relating to objects itself is wrong. And to lean on a man like oneself to fulfill them is an even greater wrong. The Artha Bhakta turns not to man, but to the Lord, whom he trusts and reveres. He implores him only to fulfill them. Though it is wrong to cultivate wants, he avoids the greater wrong of putting trust on inferior instruments. So he is superior, is it not? The superiority of his attitude can be seen when you know that it is not what you want that is important, but whom you ask for its fulfillment. The goal is the Lord. He is the giver. His grace alone can confer boons. When this faith is fixed, you can be certain that the Artha Bhakta is really worthy. I think I'll stop. There's a
Okay.
lot
Yeah.
of information there. When I was reading this, especially thinking about how it's not always everybody's calling to come to the Lord and remove Maya or try to see through Maya. I always think of Valmiki, who wrote the Ramayana because of his life journey through many lifetimes. How he sort of started out with these, I mean, essentially as a criminal, but with penance through many lifetimes, he eventually wrote one of the greatest epics that we have. Um, so I think we talked about that here too, about not, when we see people, you don't know their path, but many times they have to start somewhere. So their journey sort of takes them into this Maya where it kind of absorbs them until they start to want to not be absorbed by it anymore and want to remove themselves. But it's that want, and only the Lord really knows that, because the Lord knows what our path is and what our destiny is. So only the Lord can really guide us out of that when we get absorbed into that, kind of like a sand pit, when you fall into that. Um, so he always stands out. Um, I think the concept of nishkama karma it can be very difficult, because I think on some level, when you're doing something, you're kind of thinking, well, if I do this, maybe I'll get this blessing. I always kind of think of it as balance in your bank, your blessings bank or your grace bank. And that's always with as we kind of go through that more and more, we start to lose that attachment and we start to move closer to nishkama karma and not really holding any importance on the result of whatever we do. But it's hard to get to that path. I think when we think about our dharma, sometimes, you know, doctors are an example. You're doing your job, you want to help, but what you want to see is that the thing you prescribe fixes the person that you're prescribing it for. So there's a little bit of attachment to result there, instead of really understanding that whatever you tell is truly the word of Swam. It's God's word through you, and that every human body wants to be healthy and wants to heal. So it's a natural path. So maybe we don't have to prescribe anything except being supportive and maybe providing some education, which is a little more spiritually inclined versus writing a prescription and giving something that's easy and hoping or thinking that because I did this for you, you're going to be healthy and you're going to think I'm the best doctor in the world. It's always that just anything, I think it's hard to really not be attached to that. And lastly, I've had conversations with friends about this where whenever you are going through something, and I think Lord Krishna has mentioned this, usually that the people that are closest to him are usually when you pray for something, it is when you're at a loss and you are kind of at the end of your rope. So the last thing you can do, because everyone will try everything, and then it's okay, turn to God, and it's at that moment. And people say when you fall to your knees and you're just asking God, okay, this is all you, show me what you want. That's when everything opens up. That's when that Maya starts to open up and starts to drop a little bit, and then you understand more of why God took you on that path and where he's leading you. And then it becomes probably the best thing that could ever happen.
As you mentioned, that Nishkama Karma is not that easy. Just Sri Ramakrishna used to say, people talk of Nishkama Karma. So it is the goal, it's the ultimate thing. But most of the people want some recognition. So one is, as you say, as doctors, you want salary or recognition and make sure your patient is cured. But that is okay. So that is why Swami said very beautifully, duty without love is deplorable. Duty with love is desirable, but love without duty, which avatars and saints do, is divine. At least you are doing duty with love, so you want your patients to get better. There is also a attachment result, but at least a good one, and you want to get, and you get paid still. You get your salary here. Doctors make well, and your patients get better. That is a satisfaction, because even though I retired, when I go for walk, every few months I come across, oh doctor, do you remember me? You saved my life. So that it's such a, it cannot equal all the money I earned over so many decades, because how it made a difference in somebody's life. We forget as doctor, we see thousands of patients, but they don't forget how you made a difference. That is duty with love. That's why even Swami says devotees also have business transaction. I break 10 coconuts, give me this. I do 10 pradakshinas, do this. And in Tirupati, Swami says, as if God doesn't, I will give my hair, as if he has no hair, so give my hair so that you do this for me. So and everything is a business transaction. So that is really not, that means you are more interested. If you are interested in God, if somebody whom you love, you don't care whether your children, your spouse, your parents you love, you are not interested what will they do, real love. Whereas here, you are interested more what you get. You are not interested in God, you are interested in yourself. What can I get because of this transaction? So the most of the people who go, that is why in India, people do all these things in the bad in the hospitals, in the businesses, but the temples, if you go, my God, the numbers, 10 times, 100 times, so many people. So this is all business transaction, both for the priests and the people who promote them and people who go and pray. So this is more, I don't know how much they think about God, because even if you go to good pilgrimage places, Karthik is my, first that priest will ask how much. That's all. First, his focus is that I said, sure, I will give you money because we can afford. But his mind, he's so much on the thing. I don't know whether he's thinking about God during the time. So this is thing. But here, Swami, this is also Shloka 16, because Lord Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna. Artho jijnasu artharthi jnanecha. There are four kinds of devotees. He didn't say it's wrong. First is arthas. You have health problem, you have got suffering, you have financial. No, that is artha. You pray to the Lord. Artharthi, you want something prosperous in your life, you do that. Jijnasus. And five ultimate is jnani, who loves God for love's sake. That is why Lord Krishna and Swami is emphasizing it's okay. So he's telling, he didn't denounce them as say you are bad guys. Okay, at least instead of some people try to go to politicians or people in authority to get things done by bribing them or carrying. Here, you are not going to them. You are going to God, who is the supreme thing. That is okay, acceptable, Swami says. Instead of going to people who are like you, that's what the famous story is. Somebody was going to Akbar, at that time the great king, Mughal emperor. So he was going to get some favor to the things to for his family. And when he go there, he saw Akbar was sitting near that altar and praying, Lord Allah, do give this to me, give this to me. Oh, he says, my God, I am going to a beggar to beg. I'm going to beg to the emperor, but he is also a beggar. He is begging from God. So instead of should I beg to him, I should rather beg the one who is giving him. So he realized that. Similarly, God is the source of everything. So Lord Krishna is telling, and Swami is emphasizing, you can ask God for things. There is nothing wrong. Instead of asking human beings, doing petty favors or bribing people or corrupting and currying favors, and you had flattered these people, hey, you are great, so please do that to me. Instead of that, You praise the Lord, you serve the Lord. That is why this is not easy. That is why Swami says, Jnanis are saved, but the goal is reached stage by stage. You cannot attain, become a jnani at one time. So first you start with that. And as God fulfills your desires, your faith increases, your love increases. So slowly from artha, you become arthati, then you become jijnasu. Oh, who is this God? Who is listening to me? What is that? And finally you become, yeah, this is all illusion. How many times you want, first you want to, I want to get into good college, you get, then, oh, no, after graduating, I want to go get a good job, okay, good, then you got a promotion, how, then you want a wife, then after that you want a child, then the child, then you want them to go to get into good school, then they want to graduate. This is never ending, and then it ends there, it is good. Then starts with the grandkids. At least people who are smart, they will stop there. I did my due. Swami says that is very emphatically. Once your children are grew up and they went to study, you made them establish in life. Let them finish college or school and marriage. That is it. Your duty is done. You can. There is nothing wrong. You can shower love on grandchildren. There is nothing. But then people get so attached. Sometimes they pay more attention to their own children. They are interested in their schools, in their colleges, and they're getting married. And then actually, my sister, cousin sister, her granddaughter's marriage, she is arranging the whole thing. That means, I told her, you are the first one to have a great granddaughter. So she is younger than me. Like that, people. This is very tricky. Maya, how it can bind you. Actually, Sri Ramakrishna said Maya in simple words. Advaitic Shankara says this Maya, your card, Gunamayi. He says Maya is two things. One is whenever you say I and mine, that is the warp and woof of Maya. As long as you, this is my, I did this, I did that, this is mine, this family, this property, this bank balance, you go on, or I and mine is the warp and woof of Maya. Second thing he says, Kamini Kanchana, that is lust and greed. So as long as we have that, we are still in the net of Maya. We can, ourselves, how often I am attached to this I and mine, ahankara and mamakara. That one. And second is this realm of pursuit of wealth and sense desires. That means we are in Maya. Only when we go beyond that, there is all this spiritual practices is to do that. So, but as I said, still He is so kind. God is all our devotees. But really, you want to have God, you should be a jnani. You know the story of Swami says, I don't know, people don't like to say, my people get ideas. Rich man and four wives. Swami told the story. Do you know that? So there is a rich man, a businessman. In those days, it's allowed. He had four wives. So he went on a trip. They say Swami said in his thing to USA. So those everybody in those days before was England. Now it is USA. So he went there. So these four wives. So when you come, what do you want? So he finished his trip for after 4 or 5 months. He's coming back. So one lady, Artha, she wrote, I want some nice jewelry, so nice jewelry and things. And second thing, Artha says, oh, I have saw a lot of pain, arthritis, this. I heard a lot of good medicines are there in America. Bring, bring me some good medicines. Okay. And third one, Jijnas, what do you want? Oh, there is lots of, she's interested in philosophy, literature, so bring me that, although Jain Buddhism or Sufi mysticism or all these scriptures. And fourth one said, what do you want? I want you back. I don't want anything else. So when he went back, so he was spending all the time with that lady who's back. The other three wives were complaining, hey, you stayed, why you are so partial, you stayed. I said, you wanted jewelry, I brought and gave it to you. You wanted medicines, I brought and gave it to you. And you wanted books, I gave it to you. But she wanted only me. So that is what it is. So God, if you want you to have good house, good wealth, bank balance, he will give. Or if you want good health, he will give it to you. Good. But if you want only him, then he will come to you. So that is what we all need to have, that intense longing only to have God in our lives. Just that is also a gift of God to have. That's what in the beginning itself Swami says, to have this desire is merit obtained by many lifetimes. He says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyati. After many, many lifetimes, how many people we come across? There are 8 billion people on this planet Earth. How many people think about everybody is khana, pina, sona, manna? He says, Swami says that word. That means eating, drinking, merry, being merry, and dying. That's all. Most of the people, they're not even interested to talk. So I come across, families and friends, very intelligent people, successful materially and all. But think about God. If you talk about it, they'll get up and leave or just avoid. So it's better you don't waste your time. That's why Bhagavatam says this is something which you cannot get by saying to somebody, or even if you bribe them something, I will give you this, please come, they won't. Or even you send to them to nice ashram, or you won't get it. It is only by your good merit. Because of that only, so we are all here. So blessed to be. It is seriously, Swami says, only by the God's grace. This is after many lifetime, Bahunam Janmanamante. After many lifetime, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. This, you have that interest and you surrender. So, but we need to reinforce that by constant spiritual practices. That is what it is. So this is important. So let us all become finally jnanis, because that is the only way we get out of the shackles of Maya. Any other discussion here? Oh, there is a question. Okay, you read. Yeah,
Maya means it doesn't exist and it
right.
is an illusion. However, here the Lord says it came from Him who is eternal. If Maya came from an eternal being, then it is also eternal. Kindly clarify. We also understand that Lord's words have to be applied to a context and time. There is certainly something that is deeper to understand because we definitely are in Maya and surrendering to Him is the only way.
Yeah. Maya, because God is eternal, means everything which came from God is also eternal. That Maya is illusion because something doesn't exist. It is apparent reality. This the greatest example is that is when Vedanta Rajju Sarpa Bhranti. So when in the darkness, in the dusk or dawn, there is a rope and you mistake it. Oh, maybe some people think it is a garland. Some people think it may be a streak of water. Or some people think it is a snake. People who think it's a snake, they get scared, sweat, and maybe even collapse. But once you put light, what all existed was rope. Where did snake go? Where did snake go? Snake was never there because you saw because of your darkness. There was never garland. It was, where did it go? So it never existed. It apparently existed because of your ignorance. Similarly, we are being ignorant. Maya is another name for ajnana or ignorant. Because of that, we are seeing all this. The minute we have the knowledge, we have the wisdom, you don't see that anymore. So the easiest way, and that is why instead of going into esoteric discussion, yes, Maya is powerful because it's part of God. That's why another example we talked about, Swami gave, like in the forest, Lord Rama was going, behind him was Sita, and behind her was Lakshmana. I gave a beautiful example. Lord Rama represents Paramatma, divinity, supreme. And Mother Sita Prakriti, that is the manifestation, the whole universe, nature, world, that is represents Maya. And the Lakshmana, that is the Jiva. We are all Lakshmana embodied. So he wants to see Lord Rama. Then in between is Mother Sita. She is obstructing his vision, like you want to have sometimes some nice view, darshan of Swami, or something you want to see. Somebody, a guy who is very tall or big man is in front of you. You cannot have a vision. You cannot see. Similarly, Mother Sita. Anyway, she is beautiful and she's not bigger. So he could not see. So then Swami said, "You cannot say, Sita, get out of my way. I want to see Lord Rama." You cannot say, because Lord, she's this consort of Lord Rama. So you have to pray to Mother, please get out of the way so that I can have the vision of Lord Rama. Because it is a part of him, it came from him. But when you surrender to God, God, show me the way, then that Maya will get out. So that is the easy way. Another way is to think that is part of him. The minute you realize everything is divine, that minute all these obstacles are gone. But that is not an easy path. As long, so for jnana, three things are very important. Lord Krishna says in chapter 12, Sanniyam indriya gramo sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite. Three things. Mastery of all your senses. It's complete. So I want to have some gulab jam or nice ice cream. Still you have cravings or nice music. I want to go to this concert. This. So senses distract you, either through hearing, you want to do this, also by taste. All the five sense organs. Swami says, like Ashwada had 3 wives problem. He has 5 wives we have. So they will distract. So mastery of all the senses, which is not easy. Sarvatra samabuddhaya, always be equal-minded. No elation, no depression, profit, loss, and pleasure, pain, honor, dishonor. All the dualities won't buffet us. They are always equal-minded. And third thing is sarvabhuta hite rataha. And they desire for the welfare of all beings, not only humans, animals, plants. Because even the people who hate them, they just still send love. Because we love our friends and family, but as Jesus said, love thy enemies. That is the message he gave. Like that, they have only. Then you are eligible for jnana. How many of us that? How many of us complete mastery of senses, equal-minded in all situations, and have the well-being of all? So that is why even Nishkam Karma we talked about. The easiest is love God more and more intensely, because love is the source, the path, and the goal. The more you love and surrender to God, He will take care of the whole thing. So you don't need to take care of the burdens of Maya and all that. He automatically. That's why He Himself said, "Mameva ye prapadyante, Maya me tam tarantite." He gives, when God's words is the assurance, promise. Once He says that, He will do that. So just surrender to me, Lord. Thine will be done. So I put all my burdens on you. Please take care, and He will do that. So that is the way. So Maya is eternal. It comes part, but it is not really existing. It is existing apparent reality. That is why another thing people say, I said, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This world is Mithya, we said. What is Mithya is, people translate is unreal. God alone is real. No, world is, you see that, how can you say it is unreal? It is not. Mithya is a very interesting, but in Sanskrit you can't translate. It is apparent reality. Like, for example, you see this rope. Did you say it is didn't that snake didn't exist? It existed for that person for that time. It existed. You can't say it didn't exist. But the minute light came, it didn't exist. So mirage, same thing. You see mirage. It existed for that time, but once you know that, hey, there is no water. Similarly, these are called mithya, real slash unreal. It looks real, but it is unreal. So this is the wonderful message you need. Once you, by introspection analysis, you look, God will give you the insight what the ultimate truth is. I think time for the bhajans, I think now, right? Good. Right on.